Eagles win 25-20. Not how we expected it to go. We get into the a win is a win philosophy in the NFL because I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. We got lots to talk about today. Extended episode of Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live in 30 seconds.
Fourth and goal.
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live all over social media, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. It's free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate if you did that. It does not cost you a thing to do that because you're watching Trending in the AM, the number one morning show in Philadelphia where your opinions actually matter. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. As always, you can follow me on Twitter or X at Fear to Knowledge or on Instagram or TikTok, anywhere on social media. It's always at Fear to Knowledge. And we got lots to dive into. It's right. Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds. Birds are mid. Well, we're going to get into it. Are they mid or what? We're going to find out. You know something, Phil? I know a lot of things. Is it really a good morning, Phil? It is a good morning. There's a lot of reasons to be good. The escaped convict is no longer in Kennett Square. He's somewhere else. He's someone else's problem. The Eagles won. It is very hard to win in the NFL on the road. It is very hard to win against Bill Belichick in New England. Trying to find the positives. It's Overreaction Monday, and Kyle's saying winning is all that matters. This isn't baseball, Kyle. This is not a 162-game season. You've got to take something out of that game, good and bad, because there's only 16 more of them till we get to the playoffs. So we've got to learn quicker than it is in other sports. And we only have a 4-day turnaround. So it was not a pretty game yesterday. If the Eagles are mid, then what are the Chiefs? Exactly. Hey, Nick, the win is a win thing is one thing that somebody else said. Good teams find a way to win bad games. Chiefs did not find a way to win their tough game. The Eagles did find a way to win. I love how some fans are claiming we're done. We are not done. Not at all. And I do know what you're talking about there. It's our time, Philly. I do see a lot of that negativity across social media. Look, it was not a pretty game yesterday, but there's a lot to digest about why it wasn't a pretty game, and what parts of the game that weren't pretty are improvable, and what parts are just what this team is. And a lot of it is improvable. A lot of reasons to be mid. Go Eagles. That's all that matters. Zach, that's right. Jalen Carter, man, what a first game. Very, very dominant first game for our first-round draft pick. Very surprised. He played 50% of the snaps yesterday. Only had one sack, and that was his lone tackle of the game, but it was a very strong performance from Jalen Carter when he was out there. Eagles are done. Stop. Get out of here. Bad. Gainwell is apparently the only offensive weapon. Zach, there's so much to dive into, and that's a great first point there. I mean, the offense came out first drive, marched down the field, got a field goal, blah, 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 whatever. We know how it is. The offense sputtered at times in the second quarter and obviously in the second half. But what was with the Gainwell usage? And there was a point right before halftime where I looked and he had touched the ball running or in receiving almost 50% of the snaps. Kenneth Gainwell was being forced down our throats, Zach, in my opinion. And like they've hyped him up all offseason, and he's our number one guy. Don't worry about Penny, Swift, whatever. Gainwell's our number one guy, and they forced it down our throats. Kenneth Gainwell running straight up the middle, constantly on H-back. That's just not what he does. There was some serious play calling and rotation issues on offense. Talked about it all offseason here. What was going to be the biggest concern of this team? What was my biggest concern that I talked about on this show? Nonstop, guys. I talked about communication with these new offensive coordinators and the players and how these new coordinators were going to work out. Brian Johnson did not have a good game play calling. Sean Desai did not have a good day game planning and calling. I mean, offensively, I know we were going up against the Patriots, who have a very good defense, and their head coach is a defensive genius in Bill Belichick, obviously. But Sean Desai let Mac Jones look like freaking Tom Brady on Tom Brady Appreciation Day. That's not good. Truth is, week one stinks because more players. Look, yeah, this is great. How much of it was rust for sure. There's definitely that element, and I want to tap into the Nick Sirianni part of that in a second. I'm not sure if you heard what Nick Sirianni said about resting his starters. We're going to get into that for sure today. I think our D line was still playing on Arizona turf. Yeah, Marshawn. I mean, we got a lot of pressure yesterday, but we just couldn't get home, and that was concerning. You're going up against a Patriots offensive line that was missing 3 starters yesterday, and you got 2 sacks, both in the 4th quarter. They were getting after the quarterback. They just weren't getting up. They were 1 or 2 seconds behind on every throw. There's lots of reasons. Mac Jones getting rid of the ball quickly, just wrong routes to the quarterback, just not enough concentration. Tough hangover Monday, but a win is a win. Belichick stayed in cover 2 and did not want to give up the big play. Enjoy the 1-0. There's a lot to digest there. Yeah, it's a tough one. And yeah, Bill Belichick is a legend and one of the best of all time for a reason, for sure. Without a and that defense of the Patriots is stacked with a lot of talent. Christian Gonzalez, first round pick for them, showed why he was a top 10, talent in the draft. Played really well against our guys on the outside. I think the Eagles took what the Patriots gave them. I don't know. I don't know, Mister. I think there was parts of that are accurate, and other parts I think the Eagles they were rusty. The offensive line didn't protect as well as they're used to. Jalen Hurts looked skittish back there. Too much Kenneth Gainwell. Bad play calling. Timeouts being wasted because of delayed play calling. There were so many different issues that I almost feel like we won. A win's a win, a tough win, whatever. A character building win week one. But the Patriots really didn't beat us or push us. We pushed ourselves into those situations. Might not have N'Kobe, Fletch, and Bradbury for Thursday's game. Uh, N'Kobe Dean, Fletcher Cox, I think was banged up a little bit. I think he was just gassed. I think he'll be fine. James Bradbury, I haven't heard any reports from him. Saw the blood coming out of his mouth. Which, on a side note, Tony Romo saying, "Oh, Bradbury's just milking the clock because he's tired out there." No, no, no. Did he not see the blood coming out of his mouth? I don't know. Tony Romo called a terrible game yesterday. Terrible, terrible game from Tony Romo. James Bradbury, unless there's something internally wrong, Bradbury should be fine. The N'Kobe Dean injury is definitely concerning. Being in a boot, going for an MRI today, short turnaround for a Thursday night game. And here's the problem with that linebacker core, not valuing it. If N'Kobe Dean can't go, that means Nicholas Morrow is going to be called up on the practice squad, which means no Britton Covey next week because you got to call 2 guys up and you got to call up Aaron Sipos, who didn't do bad but didn't do great. He had that big blunder on that one punt. The N'Kobe Dean thing. N'Kobe Dean did not look great either, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about that a lot. The linebacker play was very mid yesterday. The fact the Pats had like 3 other starters were definitely out, and 2 sacks not till the 4th quarter. I don't know if it was the turf. I don't know if it was the rain because it was raining a lot, especially heavy early. So it makes it hard to get after the quarterback. But Jalen Hurts was sacked 3 times. Some of those were cover sacks and whatnot, but interesting, interesting. Bengals stink, Eagles stink. Nah, stop. Jalen fumbling at a key moment is concerning. He's normally smarter than that. Maybe it's an anomaly. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, first and foremost, you got to put your players in a position to succeed. That was a terrible play call. Calling a quarterback draw in that situation was not very smart of Brian Johnson. Without a shadow of a doubt, not a good play call there. Um, but Jalen Hurts doesn't do that very often. That was a great hit, putting the helmet right on the ball. They have focused in on ball control and security all offseason, all camp long. That to me will definitely be an anomaly, not something that becomes a problem. But the play calling could be the problem. Why can't it just be 2 primary running backs? Look, Gainwell. I got the snap counts up on my screen here. Kenneth Gainwell was on the field for 62% of the snaps, 41 snaps, which we ran 66 offensive plays compared to them running 80. That's insane that the Patriots were able to outplay us by 14 plays. Not good on our defense. But Gainwell was on the field for 41 of them. Swift was on the field for 19. Problem was Swift was on the field for 19, but rushed the ball once and was targeted twice out of the backfield. So he had the chance to touch the ball 3 times. He only touched it twice, but he had this chance to touch it 3. That's not good enough. You traded for DeAndre Swift, and you're gonna have him touch the ball twice? Now, I know Nick Sirianni said something negative about that, saying that that's not the right way, but man, take your frustrations out on that like button. That's right, Marshawn. 10 likes so far on YouTube, 2 on Facebook. Hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Um, it was the frustrations are definitely there. Cut the crap. Pat's roster is garbage. Belichick is good with Brady. The Eagles played like crap yesterday. There's no doubt about it. Doesn't mean they're a mid or bad team. They played like crap. A lot of teams played like crap yesterday. Jacoby and Fletcher will have MRIs today. I did not see the Fletcher injury. Fletcher made 2 big plays at the end of the game there, and I just thought he was gassed. Maybe something else was wrong. So I didn't see all the press conferences yet and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, the Fletcher Cox thing, the rotation proved that Fletcher actually played a lot more than I thought he would yesterday. Fletcher Cox was on the field for 50% of the snaps, which doesn't seem like a lot. No, 62% of the snaps, 50 of the 80 snaps. So 62% is a little high for Fletcher Cox yesterday, and surprising in that situation. But Milton Williams played well yesterday. Dark Barnett played well yesterday. Pretty much the entire defensive line did play well yesterday. But Nakobe Dean and those linebackers, even Nakobe Dean, he was playing very average. And then Christian Ellis came in for him when he got hurt, and he played like crap, Christian Ellis. We've got a linebacker problem for sure. Hi, my name is Dallas G. Will you accept me in your Core 12? Dallas Goddard is always welcome in our Core 12, as long as he hits the like button. Dallas Goddard. How does Dallas Goddard not catch a pass? How does Dallas Goddard get targeted one time, I think it was yesterday? Like, that's insane. One target, and it was a bad throw. Like, I know he was open a lot in the second half, and Jalen Hurts just couldn't, find him or see him. But man, Nakobe tackled well, did not cover well. Exactly, Marshawn. There were some moments where he was a step behind, and we talked about it in one of my keys. I said, what was Nakobe Dean going to do against their linebackers and running backs in the passing game? Did I not talk about that on Friday as a concern or a key to the victory about that? One of the key matchups that I was talking about. Terrible play call, but Jalen could have slid it. Maybe he didn't need the extra yardage there on the Jalen Hurts fumble. That's very possible. Swift had 2 times more targets than Dallas got. It's pathetic that Swift only had 2 more targets, but it's also pathetic that Dallas Goedert didn't have more than 1. Look, I want to wrap up some of these comments because I got something to really get into here. That I want to really voice my opinions and see what everybody thinks. I have to be conservative against Belichick's defense. Hurts could have threw for more yards, but at what expense? A couple interceptions would have been catastrophic. You got to trust your quarterback not to throw those interceptions, to make the right decisions, and you got to trust your offensive line to protect, which the offensive line did not protect very well yesterday. The only good team that played good was the Cowboys. The Cowboys dominated the Giants. The Giants played like crap. We should have played Swift. We should have played more of Swift. And the fact that Rashad Penny didn't dress, some of those late game situations where we were trying to run out the clock and you're running Kenneth Gainwell up the middle, wouldn't have Rashad Penny looked good in that situation? Isn't that what he's known for? Very bad, very puzzling decision to inactive Rashad Penny. Eagles stars played like they haven't played a game since February. And that is, I have something written down about Nick Sirianni in that. I've already touched on it. Something interesting right there that we will get into. Eagles, Bengals, Chiefs will get going soon. They will. It'll take a little time. No rushing touchdown, 3 sacks is crazy for the best O line in the league. Exactly. Why was there a communication issue? Was just some rust wearing off? I don't know. That offensive line is concerning after yesterday. It's too bad when Romo and Nance are making jokes about Goddard introducing himself to Hurts. That is bad. That is not good. Adam, awake. Long day at the Phillies game, then at Xfinity Live. Long day for you yesterday. I would have been fine with the offense yesterday if we scored a touchdown in the first drive if Jalen didn't fumble. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What is up, guys? How we doing this morning? I'm glad to see everybody jumping in the comments here. Jake Elliott, player of the game. Very possible that Jake Elliott had was the player of the game without a shadow of doubt. Penny scratch was due to third. I'm not scratching players and worrying about snap. Like, I'm not worried. Like, I think that if that's the case, I think it's a really dumb thing. K1. I really do. I don't think that's a smart thing. I feel like Jurgens and Kelsey are too small to play together. It's possible. I'm not going to overreact to any one player after one game. But what I am, since I've caught up on these comments here, I do want to say all these struggles yesterday: play calling, communication, special teams, the defense, the offense, everything, all along. We ride and die with one player in this Philadelphia Eagles. That's Jalen Hurts. We go as Jalen Hurts goes. And I'm going to say it flat out that was the worst game from Jalen Hurts since 2021. Probably since the playoff loss to the Patriots or the Buccaneers and Tom Brady in 2021. I have not seen Jalen Hurts look that indecisive, that confused, that hesitant, the lack of leadership from him there. I didn't see it. That spark from Jalen was not there. Some of it could be rust, not playing in a real game since February. There could be a lot to it. But if I had to put my thumb on the reason why that game was closer than it was, look, Jalen Hurts is your $250 million franchise quarterback, and he played very, very below mid yesterday. I know his stats don't look too bad. The fumble was big. He did not read the field well. There were a lot of plays late in the game where he had a wide open Dallas Goedert to ice the game. He didn't see him. How you don't see your 6'5" tight end, I don't know. Some of his throws were off. He did not have a command of the offense. Jalen Hurts did not play well yesterday. And I was doing the post game show with Edge of Philly last night, immediately after the game with Ryan and Deebs, and they give a grade to Jalen Hurts, and C- came up. Like, you could justify giving Jalen Hurts a D+ performance yesterday, and that's a shame. I'm not saying we still won the game. The win's a win. Jalen Hurts, I have confidence in him. I'm not saying anything bad that we're moving. Like, look, there's no mistakes with Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts has to be better. And Jalen Hurts is the type of guy you can't criticize without being called a Dan Sileo clown or a Chris Sims clown. But me, as the biggest Jalen Hurts supporter there is out there, will criticize Jalen Hurts for a very poor performance yesterday, in my opinion. And I think we have to accept that as a possibility. Load management, Phil. Look, I'm not into load management week one on running backs. I'm just not. Especially when you're going to give me that much Kenneth Gainwell. Nick said in press conference is going to play the stars more. Well, that's a big thing, Adam. And this is something that concerns me. Him saying this so quickly, Adam. It's something I've touched at twice now, hinted at Nick Sirianni and the rust. Is it concern anybody that Nick Sirianni is already backtracking on his philosophy? Like, literally 1 week into the game season, he's backtracking on it. That to me sends a message of concern right away. And I don't want this team to have doubts right away. You could be fiery and say, "Yo, we've got to clean this crap up." But backtracking on your philosophy on how you ran this offseason on week one, that is extremely, extremely concerning. Steven, what's up, my man? Morning, dirty win, but I'll take it. 1-0 is 1-0. Exactly. At the end of the year, if we're 14-3, we don't look back at which win was good and which no. A win's a win when it comes to the records and the standings. Jalen looked like 2021 Hurts, but it's only week one. Every quarterback look, yeah, exactly. There are a lot of quarterback play that was very bad yesterday. But Jalen Hurts did look like 2021 Hurts. And that's a concern. We'll have to see how it goes. Short week. Gotta have a short memory, short turnaround. But Joe Burrow played bad yesterday. There were a lot of guys that didn't play great yesterday. So, it is what it is. What is up, Tony? How we doing today? Hurts through as well as last season. His decision making sucked. Well, his decision making is part of the thing. And you missed a lot of big plays because of poor decision making. Too quick to jump to run, too quick to scramble. Now, there was some sketchy offensive line play, missing wide open receivers, just making poor decisions all around. And football's a confidence thing. And as soon as it starts to go downhill, you saw it yesterday. I didn't have that confidence yesterday in the fourth quarter. If we would have gone down that game, I didn't have the confidence that the comeback was going to happen. Why won't we start Swift and feed him from behind center? Look, what's that say? What's your name? Rel G. I mean, I don't disagree with you one bit here. The usage of Gainwell versus Swift yesterday was astonishing. I've said it a few times on this show. I tweeted it like 4,000 times yesterday. It's like they're forcing Kenneth Gainwell on us in week 1 because they wanna prove that them saying he's the guy is accurate. Kenneth Gainwell will never be a lead back. I said it all offseason. I'll say it again today after week 1. Kenneth Gainwell is not a lead back, but they forced him down his throat. And not only did they force Kenneth Gainwell on us, they called plays for him that are not plays that Kenneth Gainwell should be running. He is not a run in between Cam Jurgens and Jason Kelsey straight up the middle on an H-back dive. Like he's a shifty, fast guy. He's got to get in the holes and find space. Running him in between the tackles is just not what you. He is not prime Zeke Elliott. He's just not. Nick said he will review his preseason plans. And to me, Marshawn, him saying that so quickly after week 1 is such a concern. The way he said it is such a concern. No reason for him to be backtracking publicly after 1 week. We didn't have a great start to the season last year. We got pushed, what was it, like 38-35 or 35-32 by the Lions last year in week 1? Wasn't a pretty game last year. Last year was the defense that struggled week 1. Offense did today or this week. You guys seemed very concerned about not playing Hurts in the preseason. I was not concerned about it. The coaches are backtracking on it already. The coaches are confident in Kenny G. Get over it. Look, I'm not though. Am I supposed to just be confident in it because the coaches are K1? Like, I don't get it. Like, there's no reason why in the first half he touched the ball nearly 50% of the snaps. No reason for it. Kenneth Gainwell is not a 50% of the snaps type running back. He's not. Brian Johnson also didn't help Jalen as Shane. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a big difference in the play calling scheme between Brian Johnson and Shane Steichen. Now, we're going to learn a lot about Brian Johnson over the next 2-3 weeks. How much he adjusts, how much he flips things. Um, we're gonna learn about it. But he definitely, and there were some communication issues. We had no timeouts. 5 minutes left in the game. We burned timeouts in the first half and second half because special teams was late getting out on the field once, and because of delayed play calling. Communication has been one of my key talking points for like 6 weeks now, and it was a problem. And genetic freak is this big Papa Pump burner account. Um, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. They had some good and they had some bad. Brian Johnson was definitely weaker than Sean Desai, in my opinion, but communication on both sides, scheming on both sides. Sean Desai's scheme, he let off a lot of intermediate passes over the top of the linebackers and in front of the safeties. Linebackers and safeties, things that we talked about all offseason as a weakness of this team, both had bad games as positional groups, without a doubt. They both of them showed their inexperience. Well, Brian Johnson's inexperience. Sean Desai talked about it. He had 1 season as a defensive coordinator, and it wasn't good. So there's a lot left on the table to figure out about Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, without a doubt. The Eagles were 4-point favorites yesterday, and they won by 5. Don't know why everyone was missed it. I mean, this is a great point. Like, we were all predicting double digits and whatnot, and I was talking 10, 15-point wins. There's a reason. I did say it on Friday. It scares me when it's a 4-point line and it should be 10. It's a trap. It almost was a trap. Brian Johnson had a conservative game plan. Well, he shouldn't. Didn't need to. You know what I mean? So him not adjusting that game plan on the fly, very concerning. Tony saying, not playing in preseason showed across the league. This was the preseason for that offense. Hurts had wide open guys and only stuck on one read. He will be better. Well, the bottom part of that, Anthony, is he will be better, is what we have to hope for. And a good team, the Bengals are a great team. They were rusty. They did not find a way to win. The Eagles were rusty, struggled to play, found a way to win. Chiefs could not find a way to win. It's always important. Great teams find a way to win games that they're losing, or great teams find ways to win games that say loss all over them. So I give them credit. They played well, or they found a way to dig deep at the end. Who had on their bingo card Josh Joby making the play of the game? I will not abide this Kenny Gainwell hate. Well, you're going to get Kenny Gainwell hate all show long. It's nothing against Kenneth Gainwell. I think Kenneth Gainwell could be a really strong force in the NFL. But as a 3-down back, no. As a guy that you're pounding through the guards and center spot, no. Like and the use it was a very very confusing choice of play calling for Kenneth. If you're going to use Kenneth Gainwell that much, call different plays. Thought Sean Desai had a decent first quarter, and then he went back to prevent defense. Look, I think Sean Desai did not have a great first quarter. Sean Desai got bailed out by Darius Slay on the pick six. Just think about it. If that pick six and the Jordan Davis forced fumble don't happen, we're talking about a whole different ball game here. Those two plays might make Sean Desai look a little better than he was. I think he was very conservative, and I've talked about it. Everyone thought Sean Desai was going to be this blitz happy guy. No, no. I said it. He's a Vic Fangio guy, which is conservative defense. Now he's supposed to be a great adjuster, mid-game adjuster. We didn't see that this time. So we'll see how it goes on 4 days rest. Do you think Dallas Goedert has a big game Thursday after having one target? Well, I guarantee you that they try to get him the ball on the first few snaps. We got 26 people watching right now, training the AM. We got 12 likes on YouTube, 5 on Facebook. Hit that like button. It's free to do it. It greatly helps the algorithm and helps us continue powering through all these comments. Dallas Goedert is going to be the first target on Thursday. If you got him in fantasy, you better be playing him because he is going to touch the ball a lot and often on Thursday night, without a doubt. The coaches must see what we see. Gainwell was not at his best yesterday. And it's not like quarterback rust. You know what I mean? Like, running backs know exactly what they got to do. They got to run the ball through certain holes, run certain routes to catch the ball. Like, the rust can be there, but not to – it was just frustrating. I'm more frustrated about Kenneth Gainwell. If I had to have a list of my top 3 things I was frustrated with, not counting the injuries, was Gainwell, also not named Jalen Hurts. Gainwell, Justin Evans, and Jacoby Dean. They all frustrated me yesterday massively. The other option is to play Hurts in preseason, and you win by more the first few weeks. Look, I get it. I'm okay with them resting him. I'm not worried about it. Going for it, 4th and 2 was a risky call that I don't agree with. Yeah, they went for it at that one point that I didn't agree with. They kicked a field goal. When one of the field goals was kicked when I thought they should have gone for it. I talked about this in the offseason, Raul G. That Nick Sirianni's decision making to go for it on 4th down, yes or no, was going to be questionable at first because he doesn't have confidence yet in Brian Johnson. He might say he does, but there's going to be those growing pains. Like, how is Brian Johnson going to call these plays when I say go for it? It was questionable the times he went for it and didn't go for it, in my opinion. Sean Desai's defense, not much different from Gannon's after game 1. Yeah, I mean, we gave up how much last year to the Lions week 1? And, we struggled. We made Mac Jones look like freaking Tom Brady yesterday. Let's just Mac Jones with wide receivers that wouldn't have beaten out some of the none of those James Thrash, Todd Pinkston, Charles Johnson, Torrance Small, some of those bad wide receivers from back in the Eagles' day would have been starters over these guys in New England yesterday. Yet, Mac Jones was picking apart our defense. That's not good. Not good at all. Was that a catch by A.J. Brown? No. I think they got the call right by overturning that. I saw the bobble right from the get-go on that play. I think it was what it was. Freak of the week. Who's the freak of the week? Phil is your hookup. Holla if you holla if you hear me. Just don't ask Big Papa Pump to do any math because we know he doesn't do fractions well. I predicted 38, 10, and 9 sacks, of course. Look, Marjan, how this team only had 2 sacks is still beside me. Like, I don't know how that happened. Imagine being on Cincy Talk Radio today. Well, like, do people actually call into Cincinnati Talk Radio? Like, it's Cincinnati. Nobody cares about anything in Cincinnati. But yeah, I get it. There was Russ. I mean, Cincinnati. At least you have the excuse that Joe Burrow was hurt most of camp and didn't even get much practice in camp. Eagles were practicing. No A.J. Brown found a way to win. A.J. Brown, actually, didn't he have the most catches or most targets? A.J. Brown had 7 catches, 79 yards, 10 targets. Both him and Smith both had 10 targets and 7 catches, but obviously the yardage was very low. Joby came in and held it down. Like, Romo couldn't stop slobbering all. Oh, look, they're going to target Mac Jones is Tom Brady reincarnated. He's going to target Josh Joby. Josh Joby made the play of the game. He had a big hit, and then that little touch as the receiver was trying to catch that last pass, got him out of bounds. Josh Joby saved that game. To your point, Phil, this team did get the win when it looked like a loss. Same thing last year against the Colts, Texans, and Bears. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Great teams find ways to win games that bad teams lose. Chiefs lost the game. Bengals lost their game. The Bears lost their game, and everybody. I was like, "Yo, pump the brakes on the Bears, guys." Bears got beat by Jordan Love. Look, teams lose. It's hard to go 17-0 without a doubt. But but they found a way to win. So that's all that really truly matters. Maddox had some nice plays out there. Really hope he stays healthy. Yeah, at first I think very early in the game, bad weather. Didn't he like? I think there was a one pass play early in the game that he was a little behind on. I'm like, Maddox isn't clicking. And then the rest of the game he was locked down. And when I don't hear a cornerback's name in a game, that makes me happy. Because that means he's got tight coverage and passes aren't being completed his way. Maddox played well yesterday. I agree with that. 14 of 31, 82 yards, Joe Burrow stat line. Um, yeah, that's not good. I didn't even look at. I know he didn't play well, but man, I didn't know the stat line was that bad. Man, that is awful. Mac Jones looked like Brady out there. He killed them over the middle of the field. And who covers the middle of the field? Linebackers, safeties. And guess what? Our linebackers and safeties did not play well yesterday. Treat that like button like it's Brian and Sean's play calling. A pound away. That's right. Again, Kenny G did not play in the preseason. I think a real evaluation of the offense can't come until Friday morning. See, the problem is then if it looks shaky again on Thursday night, Anthony, everyone's gonna say, well, it was a short week. And short weeks cause problems. There's gonna be a lot of there's no set schedule this year. We only got like 3 1 o'clock games. So it's gonna be very hard to get on that set schedule and say what we really know or don't know. Maddox ripping the ball out of that receiver's hands in the fourth. Incredible play. Yeah. Like I said, Maddox, I was concerned, thought like he was going to have a rough game. And then all of a sudden, I didn't hear his name. And that's what you want. You don't want to hear your slot corner's name. We were not in field goal range when we went for it on 4th and 2. I think we were. Very questionable decision there. Yeah, the Thursday game did affect yesterday. The coaches had to start a game plan for Thursday during the preparation for the Patriots. Maybe. Maybe. That roster only had 3. The Eagles roster only had 2 sacks. 2 sacks is beyond crazy. I'm telling you, we're still playing in Arizona turf. It rained. I mean, you saw it. How hard was it raining before the game? I mean, that turf was soaked yesterday, and that could have affected some of the play calling as well. You know, try not to hurt anybody, try not to slip and do anything. Like maybe Bengals will be fine, just like the Eagles will be fine. The Bears stink, just like I said they were going to stink. Bradbury and Slade both gave up TDs. Brace yourself for Jefferson and Addison. Look, Bradbury specifically. I saw Slay once or twice get beat, but excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. Allergies have been brutal again lately. Bradbury got beat a lot more than Slay yesterday, and I expected some negative regression from James Bradbury this year. He did not look good yesterday. Mac Jones and those wide receivers were picking them apart. It's a shame. Going to Foxborough on Brady Day and beating Bill Belichick in a game you know he was preparing for all season. I mean, yeah. Is it okay to think that way? I don't know if I feel okay thinking that way. Like I know everyone's like a win's a win and blah blah blah, but is it okay to feel that way? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because you've got 4 days till you turn it around again. This is the only show I'm doing till Thursday. I'm not no shows the next couple days. Am I okay feeling that way? I'm not sure. Did you see what the Bucks did to Kirk Coupons? I mean, yeah, the Bucks beating like that. Did not have that on my card. Had to watch that game in a room full of Pats fans. Only did it because it was my boy's birthday. Well, you are a stronger man than I am, or woman. I'm not sure. I'm assuming. Beast on Broad Street. I would not be able to do that. I wouldn't even have friends that are Patriots fans. That's just me. Um, but you got the last laugh. Didn't watch the Vikes game in full, but Addison had a touchdown. Jefferson went crazy. Kirk Cousins, Mr. Stats. What did he throw? Like over 300 yards? Still came up small. That's what Kirk Cousins does. Slay got shook so bad on that one touchdown. It's nuts. Yeah. I mean, and the one play that he almost had his second interception on, he had to come from halfway across the field to make that play. So he did not play well. This is why you got to play preseason. I mean, it's a question, Drew. It's a question that Nick Sirianni is already questioning after week 1. And I do not like Nick Sirianni questioning his philosophies so quickly into the season, Drew. I do not. It sends a bad message, in my opinion. Like, it literally sends a message that I'm not sure what I'm doing is right. You gotta be confident. He needed to come out and say, "Yes, we had rust, but we'll shake it off this week. I still stand by." Do you wanna have rust and risk injury, or do you want your guys healthy week 1? We had healthy guys week 1. There was nobody on the injury report this week. So, I do not like Nick Sirianni questioning it so quickly. I would have been fine if Jalen saw Goddard and iced the game with a touchdown, but he fumbled it away. Look, Goddard was open twice late in that game, like massively open, and he missed them. Did not see him at all. Jalen Carter looked great, but did you see that Bijan Robinson just did yesterday? That guy is a superstar, and I still, oh man, are we really going to do that? Have that conversation again, Mister? I don't know. He looked good. I had him. I have him in fantasy, so he was my number one pick in the Philadelphia Sports Network, fantasy football draft. But still, Jalen Carter did look great, by the way. Can we find some positives for sure? Because I've got quite a few. I guess Jalen Reagor never made it to the game. I forgot all about that. How did I forget about that? Only beat the Lions by 3 in last year's opener. Everyone calm down. Look, it's Overreaction Monday, isn't it, Kyle? Isn't that what we used to call this show on Mondays? Overreaction Monday. Um, it's okay to overreact. It's not a baseball season of 162 games. It's 17 games. You have to take the positives and the negatives out of each game, and there were plenty of negatives yesterday. And a lesser team loses that game. Why do we have 2 press cornerbacks and only play them 10 yards? It's a fair point, Marshawn. Been talking about. We thought that was all Jonathan Gainwell, but it's not just Jonathan Gannon. Um, I think they get back to form and blow past the Vikings. Well, primetime Kirk Cousins does not win very often, Drew. So we've got a strong chance there. And if your franchise quarterback gets hurt in preseason, you will call for his job. Exactly. I'm okay with what Nick Sirianni did. I'm okay with the slow start week 1. I'm not okay with Nick Sirianni backtracking his philosophy so quickly or saying it publicly. I'm okay with Bijan the way the O line looked. I don't think. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Kyle is right, but you still got to look at it objectively. They barely beat a 3-13 team last year and still made the Super Bowl. Calm down. I will not calm down. I'm going to be pissed off today. Um, Thursday games are always a blowout, but does it go our way? Well, I don't know the exact stat right now, Marshawn, but I know in years past, I remember looking it up once, and it was like a 70 something percent chance that the home team wins Thursday night games. We're the home team. It's our home opener against Kirk Cousins. There's no way we lose the home opener against Kirk Cousins on Thursday night. But back to the Jalen Carter thing. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Dark Barnett. I know we only had 2 sacks late in the game, but our defensive line played really well last night. I want to make sure, even though we're doing all this negativity or concerns or whatever about the game, Jalen Carter played 50% snaps and was a beast. Jordan Davis forced fumble, and he played 41 or 44% of the snaps, a little bit more than last year, but was very effective stopping the run when he was out there. Milton Williams, we saw make some plays. Fletcher Cox late in the game made some plays. I think our defensive line was the shining star of the week 1 game, even though they only got 2 sacks. I'm going to trust Sirianni knows we got to be better and he'll hold these coordinators accountable. Absolutely. Nick Sirianni doesn't accept crap from anybody, without a doubt. But I'm still concerned that Sirianni backtracked on his comments so much. It really, really concerns me. But on the flip side, they're going to be working hard this week to clean it all up. Don't tell Phil to calm down. That's not like I'm a very calm person normally on this show. I just fire through your comments. I give you a little bit of my opinion, but mostly just debate your opinion. And I'm calm. I'm not calm after week 1. Look, I gotta leave for the airport at 8:30 tomorrow morning. No show tomorrow. No show on Wednesday. We'll try to do a show sometime middle of the day on Thursday and Friday from the resort in Mexico. But this is my main chance to react to this game, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the way it played out. I'm genuinely scared for our D-backs on Thursday. Yeah, I mean, they didn't play well against practice squad, USFL, XFL wide receivers that the Patriots put out there. Who's going to stop? I expected to talk about, well, who's going to stop Justin Jefferson? Well, now I'm scared on who's going to stop. They did not play well. Agree with Beast on Broad Street. That's good. The offensive line could have played better. Adam, we talked about this at the beginning. The offensive line did not play well. A lot of pressure. I know he was only sacked 3 times, and some of them were like him scrambling out of bounds, before getting back to the line of scrimmage. But they got pressure in his face all game long, and and on top of that, like it started, and you saw happy feet from him a little bit. You don't want Jalen Hurts getting happy feet, not at all. The offensive line was weak yesterday. Play calling got to be better. I hope the ghost of Gannon doesn't get to the new offensive coordinator. Look, hey, we can talk all we want about Jonathan Gannon, but Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals held close with the Washington Commanders for a little bit yesterday. They didn't look awful and dreadful, but that team that they ran out there to be able to say what was the final score of that game? Where is that game? That's what was the Washington final score? 20-16. Almost beating Washington on the road. The Cardinals. Give Jonathan Gannon credit to get those guys playing, I guess. Um, Nick Sirianni was already giving it to Brian Johnson in the sideline. I hope. I didn't see it, but I hope so. Because it was not good from Brian Johnson. I don't want Nick Sirianni to have to take over play calling, but that was not good play calling yesterday. Play calling, player usage, there's a lot wrong on offense yesterday. And maybe, we all talk about, there was going to be a seamless transition from Shane Steichen to Brian Johnson because Brian Johnson, knew Jalen Hurts was wrapping his diapers when he was a baby. Whatever. Known Jalen Hurts for a long time, and that connection was going to make it perfect. Doesn't mean anything. Brian Johnson has to be better. Pats was playing a wide receiver named a Booty, and we couldn't cover him. I mean, that sums it up right there. What is up, Eric? How you doing? Go Birds, my man. Washington was awful yesterday. Exactly. They were awful, and the Cardinals almost caught them. Caught them napping. Really happy with the play of our defensive tackles. You know what? Everyone's going to talk Jalen Carter, but I was really pleased with Jordan Davis yesterday, Mister. I really can't say enough of positivity about Jordan Davis. He really, really looked healthy, fast, fresh every play. 44. I would like to see him a little closer to 50, but 44% of snaps. That's fine. I was very impressed. I want to make sure everyone's going to want to push Jalen Carter, the 50% snaps, getting the first sack, getting the pressure. But I want to make sure Jordan Davis gets plenty of love. Cardinals scored a defensive touchdown. Hey, Jonathan Gannon, defensive mastermind. After watching Cousins stink up the joint in a 1 o'clock game, I'm not too worried about him. Well, I am a little bit because just think about it yesterday. So Mac Jones had the ball for 80 offensive snaps. We only had it for 66. If our offense stalls like it did last week and you give Kirk Cousins 80 snaps to our 66, they're going to find the end zone with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is the best player in the NFL that's not a quarterback. He might be the best player in the NFL. He's not the most valuable because that always goes to a quarterback. I'm concerned with the way Darius Slay and James Bradbury played, how they're going to stop Justin Jefferson. And does Sean Desai have enough creativity in him to find a way to lock him down? If I'm Justin Jefferson, I want 200 yards. Exactly. And he might get it. Slay made JJ. Yeah, I mean, last year's last year. This year's this year. Every year's different. Washington cost me $700 coming up a point short on my parlay. Well, that is brutal, Eric. That 1 point is always brutal. Where was Nolan Smith? Nolan Smith played, not much though. Let me see here real quick. Nolan Smith was on the field for 7 snaps, 9% of the plays. I did see him in the game late in the game, getting some pressure, but not much. Dark Barnett played 16 snaps, just so you know. A little bit of a difference there. 9-16 Dark Barnett versus Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith's still coming off the shoulder injury. Hassan Reddick got some pressure, but no sacks. He didn't play all preseason, didn't even practice much because of the thumb injury. So you got to give them a little bit of wiggle room, I guess. Remember last year's game? Beast, not too worried at all. Well, that's fine. Good morning. What is up, Reality Check? How you doing? Look, I'm not trying to say to be worried or not. What I'm just trying to say is that there is massive rooms for improvement, and we can't go out there and play like that again on Thursday night. We just can't. You just can't do it. If Community lost to Cardinals, it would have been funny. The Commanders, yes, absolutely. Quick reset here, 8:45 on Trending in the AM here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're 45 minutes into a 90-minute show. We're halfway through. I'm trying to give you guys bonus time today for free. Since there's no show the next 2 days, we've only got 18 likes on the YouTube video so far, 6 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching. Likes help the algorithm massively, help me out greatly. It's free to hit that button. It's free to hit the share button. It's free to hit the subscribe button. It's free to turn the notifications on. You don't want to miss a minute. Even Liam's now going live. And if you hit those notification bell, then when Liam goes live tonight, you'll get the notification. Philadelphia Sports Network doing a great job covering the Eagles yesterday and all of the NFL. Absolutely, where is that? Absolutely won't get away with games like that in the future. Yeah, I mean, you got to clean it up. What have we talked about, juggling all offseason? Easy first half of the schedule, tough later in the schedule. You play like that against the Cowboys, done. Play like that against the Chiefs, done. Play like that against the Bills, done. The Patriots are a 6-7 win team maximum, and they pushed you to the limits. So while you don't want to overreact, so to say, you can look at what went wrong yesterday and ask yourself, A, can it be fixed? Or B, is there a talent issue in those positions? I'm concerned with Justin Evans as starting safety. I know he had 7 tackles, tied for second on the team in tackles. He played 96% of the snaps yesterday. And guess what? I don't remember Justin Evans making a single play yesterday. How do you have 7 tackles? I didn't see any of them. That was a concern. A lot of them were because he was off the ball and he had to come up and make the tackles on receivers. Nakobe Dean did not play great, but he played okay. Christian Ellis, when he was filling in, looked lost out there. Completely. Linebackers and safeties. We debated all offseason. Should they go out and get us linebackers? Should they go out and get Budda Baker at safety? Talk about Patrick Queen and Budda Baker for like 6 months now. They didn't get either. Both those positions showed holes massively last night. They take a regular guy like Kenny G and try to convince you he'll be a star. It's something I agree with. Liam's show I caught and it was pretty good. Liam's the GOAT. He's the founder of this great network. For such a long time, they couldn't even get a first down. It wasn't fun to watch. That was the first time in Jalen Hurts' career he went 5 straight 3 and outs. Just think about that. He had gone 3 and out in 2021 4 times in a row in a game, but never 5 times. That's insane. Like that's dreadful offense. That's a defense really sticking it to you and an offense not being able to get it going. It's really rough. Chiefs looked like poo week 1 too, by the way. They did. And they found a way to lose the game, whereas the Eagles found a way to win the game. And that's what good teams do. Reed played really well. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that, Anthony. Best player in the defensive backfield. He was the best player. That's not saying something. I think he played okay, Reed Blankenship. He played with a lot of heart. He made some big tackles. But I don't know if he played well. He played okay. The only people on defense that I would say played well are the defensive line. I think everybody else played or bad in the backfield and linebacker core. That's my opinion. I didn't see it. Phil's carrying PSN. Well, I'm carrying the YouTube page. Now that Liam's back, just so I'm gonna call you guys out. Just so you know, Liam, Friday's show, he had about 180 views on YouTube. Liam's show had over 300. Over 300. And somebody tipped Liam $100 super chat. Like, what? Who tips people $100? Like, seriously. Not even $101. Like, seriously. I'm the GOAT. Well, thank you. I need my rest and relaxation. So, yes, I leave for Mexico. We're celebrating our 17th wedding anniversary in Mexico starting tomorrow. So there'll be no show Tuesday morning because we're traveling. Probably no show on Wednesday because I'm not waking up our time. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. on vacation. Thursday, we will do a pregame show sometime in the afternoon. And Friday, we'll do a recap show sometime in the afternoon. And then the following week, we'll get back to normal when I get back from vacation. Maybe I'm late, but did we get to it? We did not get. He does have an MRI schedule. Him and Fletcher Cox have MRIs today. Nakobe Dean was seen in the boot. I am concerned, Beast, on Nakobe Dean not being ready. When you got to get an MRI and you have a Thursday game coming up, it's really tough. It's a quick turnaround. So I think Nakobe Dean, and that's a problem because you don't have many linebackers. That means practice squad, you've got to elevate Nicholas Morrow, which means you got to elevate your punter too in Aaron Sipos. Means no Britton Covey. Britton Covey had one nice punt return yesterday. So no Britton Covey on Thursday if you've got to elevate Nicholas Morrow. Big big issue there. In Boston, they say you need to play with hot. No. The offense struggled when Sirianni called the plays in 2021. Why lose our head coaching responsibility? I look, I don't want him calling plays, Nick Sirianni. But there's if we have multiple games like yesterday in a row, you're gonna hear the discussion be brought up. I'm not gonna jump off the bridge about Johnson and in the decide. They were going against Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of our era. Yeah, we're gonna give him a few weeks till we really start to say anything. And luckily, we've got a fairly easy schedule, so there is room for that. Some room for some improvement, but also room for some growth. So, but if we're still talking about this in 3 weeks, I don't know. I have no idea, man, chatter. I have no idea, and I would never expect that. It's a disgrace that a Brit is getting more super chat than Phil. Not just Core 12, everybody. Like, I don't even care about the super chat. I care about the fact that he outdrew us viewership wise by 140 views. Come on, that share button and that like button, hit it. Um, the Dean, ACL be like, and ACL be like. I look, I don't know. Some of the plays were head scratching, like running on third. Yeah, there was a lot of head scratching decisions yesterday. A lot of them. Right, Ark. Maybe a draw for like 7 or 8 yards, but 20. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. Um, just confused on who tips anybody $100. I love it. I happy we experienced adversity early. Look, adversity is great, and I mean, I guess there's something to have in that conversation. That adversity builds character. We know Jalen Hurts. There was reports that I think it was Ed Kratz reported that after the game and everybody got into the locker room, Jalen Hurts walked up to each and every defensive player and thanked them for winning that game for them. We know Jalen Hurts does not like failure. Jalen Hurts does not like not being perfect and the best player on the field at all times. Jalen Hurts does not like being outplayed by Mac Jones on national TV. Just think about it. Mac Jones outplayed Jalen Hurts on national TV. If you don't think Jalen Hurts is going to go into Thursday night with a chip on his shoulder, then I don't got no idea what to tell you. Howie Roseman does numbers. He does. We're gonna have to figure out the numbers for Thursday night for sure. Here, Phil, here is 2 days' wages. Yeah. Um, did you know the Cowboys won the Super Bowl? The Cowboys won the Super Bowl and the 49ers won the Super Bowl yesterday. Um, the Giants stink, like I said. And the 49ers beat a bad team. So, you know, if we're not allowed to overreact to the Eagles barely winning, the Cowboys and 49ers are definitely not allowed to overreact to their games like they did. No disrespect to Brits, more like the Yanks are taking um, yo, I won my fantasy football game by almost 30. So you won the season too by that, right? Yeah, probably. Um, you have to wonder if Hertz went to Nick and said, I want to play in the preseason next year. Maybe that led to Nick saying something. Maybe Anthony, maybe not. But like I said, I'm still concerned about the message it sends to your team when you publicly admit that you may have been wrong so quickly. Nick Sirianni is all about emotions and keeping everybody on the table. Like I just think he didn't need to say it publicly. Now Nick Sirianni wears his emotions on his sleeve just like Jalen Hurts does. So sometimes he's going to say things that aren't right or smart to say at the time. Uh, but but you got to say that maybe Jalen Hurts had something to do with it. What's up, Jim? All right, Birds will get it together and we will use this game to fire the rest of the season. Let's go Eagles! Hey, that's a perfect comment. I hope so. 0-3 in fantasy. I'm 1-1 in fantasy this week, but 0 in DraftKings fantasy. Hit all my bets. All three of my locks of the week hit yesterday. 3-0 to start the season. I'm a much better than I am fantasy player. Yet I spend way more money in fantasy than I do betting. I don't. I gotta flip my budget every single week. Um, damn right. One game champs, baby. That's right. Um, I started DG in all my games and still won 2/3. DG, DG? Who am I missing here? But yeah, I had my PSN league, which everybody was making fun of me in the draft that I was the worst team. Smoked my week one opponent. Now my buddy, my family league, not so good. We'll just say. But I had Jalen Hurts in my family league and AJ Brown. Are we this concerned last year in week 1? Pretty much. Actually, Marshawn, we didn't do a more I was doing a morning show last year, yeah. On I'd already started. We're pushing almost 2 years of the morning show. Um, we were concerned last year after week 1. I definitely think last year after week 1 was not good. But, ah, it's different. There were different expectations. Going into the season last year, there were very few of us that thought we were a Super Bowl team. This year, we think we're a Super Bowl team. So expectations change year to year, which changes the way you feel about each game. I had Joe Burrow and Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. They went off yesterday. I'm so glad seeing the Chargers lose. I had that one predicted too. I'm 1-0 in the new PSN Discord Dynasty League. I don't even the Discord Dynasty League. That's right. Goddard. Look, that's who you had, K1. Dallas Goddard, and still won. Okay. How you have Dallas? How does Dallas? I still can't get back. Let's go back to this again. Kenneth Gainwell touched the ball almost 50% of the time in the first half, and Dallas Goddard caught 0 balls. He had 1 target. How does that happen? How does Dallas Goddard not catch a pass? I always talk about Travis Kelce and how the guy is clearly the best player on the field and still finds a way to get open and still gets the ball thrown his way. Dallas Goddard is one of the best. I can't get over the Dallas Goddard thing still. Yeah, I was thinking quarterbacks at the time. That's why I couldn't figure out who he was talking about. N'Kobe Dean foot injury scares me. Liz Frank is usually season ending. I don't know. Did Patrick Queen play for the Ravens yesterday? Let's pull up the Ravens box score. Did he even play yesterday? Yeah, Patrick Queen had 11 tackles, a sack, pass defended. Patrick Queen had a great game yesterday for the Ravens. His price tag just went through the roof right there. But I'm concerned. When N'Kobe Dean misses time, seriously concerned. 0 point tight end. I mean, it's bad. Yep, my bad. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out who you were talking about. Dallas beat up on the Giants by 40, and yet they only won 1 game. Exactly. We're tied for first place in that division. Um, Also, poor one for J.K. Dobbins, dude. J.K. Dobbins going down again. Yeah, the Dynasty League, yeah. Aaron Jones from Green Bay put up 26. Green Bay beating Chicago yesterday. I love it. Absolutely love seeing Green Bay beat the Bears yesterday. Um, I am not a Justin Fields fan. I'm not a fan of Chicago. I don't think they're as good as people think. And Jordan Love, the Packers, I want more success for the Packers with Jordan Love as the quarterback than the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Just, I love it. I love it. And it couldn't happen. Well, Phil, Bills play first half with their stars in the preseason now because well, we're going to see tonight. Bills versus Jets. It's going to be an interesting game. Everyone's all on the Jets, but I got the Bills winning tonight. A little tease there of tonight's game. Our leader told coach, you get tougher on them or I'm out of here. Well, yeah. Um, Ravens are not trading Queen. Move on. Not now. Not after he dominated a game yesterday. Check Buddha's stats. You want me to check Buddha's stats? Let me go full scoreboard here so I can pull up the box scores of that game. Let's see if Buddha Baker even played. Arizona. I do not see Buddha Baker's name. Nope, there he is. 5 tackles, and that's it. 5 tackles for Buddha Baker yesterday. Let's see here. I hope the Sue and Joseph come back. Could you imagine? No, I mean we don't really need Nadamik and Sue and Linville Joseph right now. We don't. Unfortunately, well, not fortunately, we don't need them. We need to find the Sue and Joseph for linebacker because that's what we need, especially if N'Kobe Dean's going to miss time. With your Eagles performance, you're not going to stay in top 25 ranking. Bears stink. They do. But TJ Edwards, yeah. Look, I crushed TJ Edwards. Do we play better yesterday on defense with TJ Edwards? Look, I said it. I'm not a TJ Edwards or Kazir White fan. You moved on to Zach Cunningham and N'Kobe Dean. The linebackers were very mid yesterday. TJ Edwards and Kazir White might have done better. Invested in all 22. That's a great thing to invest in, actually. Jalen Carter's a beast. I can't wait to watch him grow. Jalen Carter was already the best player on the field at times yesterday. That was his first career game. Um, Send a fourth for Buddha. I mean, Justin Evans, I was surprised Justin Evans even made the team, let alone start in week 1. Terrell Edmonds was barely on the field. Sidney Brown had a great play on special teams, and we can talk special teams too today. We still got about 30 minutes left here. Sidney Brown, you made a huge boom play as a gunner on that one special teams punt return or punt coverage play. But Justin Evans, 96% of the snaps, like what did he do that was so special? And he's an injury prone guy. Yeah, he had some pedigree before he got hurt. Like I was really surprised about that decision. And then he starts. Buda Baker might be needed. If that's what you think of your secondary, that Terrell Edmonds barely out there, and Sidney Brown did not see one snap on defense. Sidney Brown told my buddy who's a Packers fan, you couldn't let them have that one. He said, "Would you with the Cowboys?" I said, "Hell no." That's right. Um, it was a college football joke. Oh, okay, my bad. I see why N'Kobe fell to the third round. Dude can't. Well, that was my concern with him. That's why everybody talked about his injuries. Just because you're injury prone in college doesn't mean you are in the pros. I mean, Landon Dickerson had 4 straight season-ending injuries. He's been, knock on wood, relatively healthy here in Philly. But N'Kobe Dean has an injury history, and you don't have depth behind him, which is massively concerning. Kazir White played well for the Commanders yesterday. Yeah, I mean, look, our linebackers we let 2 linebackers go. I said, how many times I say, core 12, you know this. I said 259 tackles from your 2 linebackers last year, that we had to make that up. And our linebackers yesterday did not play well enough to back that up or match that. I said the Panthers would be good. Now I look like a clown. Well, I could have told you they weren't. Now I got you. Play Sidney Brown. I mean, you don't want to overreact after 1 week, right? That's what we keep saying. We don't want to overreact to how the game went. But if people like Sidney Brown make plays on special teams like that, you got to think that there's a chance that there's going to have to be a switch. I mean, Justin Evans had 7 tackles yesterday. Great, I guess. Like, it's not the end all be all to me. Who led the team in tackles yesterday? Reed Blankenship had 12 tackles. There you go. It's never good when your safety leads your team in tackles. It means there's a lot of plays happening beyond the line of scrimmage, especially like someone like Reed Blankenship. It's always got to come up and make a play. That's not good when your top 2 tacklers are your safeties. That means the quarterback was picking your secondary apart. I honestly want to see Steen at left guard because of his size. Jurgens and Kelsey are too small together. I trust out. I trust out. So if he wants to play Jurgens right now, that's fine. Steen was not even dressed yesterday. That's fine. Only losers stay healthy. Ricky Bobby. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. Um, I don't watch college football. It's not beneath me. I just don't. Ed Reed Blankenship. Like I don't think I know everybody's going to hype up Reed Blankenship. The eye test to me was, it was okay. He was one of the better defensive players on the field yesterday, but not great. I don't know. Like, I don't think he was that special yesterday. Speaking of SP players, can we show some love for Jake for a bit? Jake Elliott is elite. He's one of the best kickers in football for a reason. Fantastic game from him, making multiple 50-yarders yesterday. He missed an extra point, but whatever. He's just a lock solid guy there. Aaron Sipos was okay at punting. Our punt coverage and kick coverage had some good plays, but there's 2 big kick returns, I believe, and 2 big punt returns. So there was some good and some bad on special teams. Britton Covey caught everything his way. He had 1 really good run back. It was what it was. But if you have to call up Nicholas Morrow next week from the practice squad, you don't got Britton Covey. So something's going to change on this roster in the next 3 days if N'Kobe Dean is hurt. Or N'Kobe Dean's going to go on IR and be out for 4 weeks, which that's just going to throw the defense for a loop too. After week 1, I predict Ravens, Browns, Saints take a big step forward this season. Ravens, I said the Ravens before. Browns, I think the Bengals lost that game just as much as the Browns looked good. I was watching that game more than the other game, and there were quite a few throws that Deshaun Watson made that were bad throws. Like he didn't look great. And I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan, so I'm trying to find negatives about him. Saints, maybe we'll see. But the Ravens out of those take the biggest jump in my opinion for sure. Um, Jake missed an extra point. Yeah, I was ready to make that joke and I didn't. But yeah, I mean, Jake Elliott played really well yesterday. Really, really well. Jake is greater than Akers. We already talked about this in the offseason at some point. I feel like this conversation's come up at some point. Is he yet? Like, how much more does Jake Elliott have to do to make this an accurate statement? Jake Elliott's pretty clutch. I think Jake Elliott's got a bigger leg than David Akers. David Akers had a lot of big kicks and a lot of big moments, but so is Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott might be the best kicker in Eagles history. There's a very good chance of that. Bengals always start the season slow. That's fine. I mean, Joe Burrow was hurt. Joe Burrow didn't just sit like Jalen Hurts in the preseason game. Jo Joe Burrow was actually hurt and didn't even practice much in training camp. So there's an excuse tied in there with that. All right, it's 9:05, final 25 minutes of the show. We passed the 20 like button mark on YouTube, which is great, but I need more likes if you're watching. 7 on Facebook, helping this show so much. It's free when you're watching Trending in the AM to hit that like, share, and follow and subscribe button. Does not cost a thing. You hit those buttons, helps this show grow massively every single morning. And this is the last chance you've got for 2 days. There are going to be 2 plus. Well, this is the last morning show for a week, but there'll be a couple afternoon shows from me, from Mexico, as long as the Wi-Fi is a-okay, which I assume it will be. But this is the last 25 minutes of me in the morning that you get. The last 25 minutes. All the quarterbacks who got paid this offseason were awful yesterday. It is kind of weird. I mean, I didn't watch much of the Ravens game. They won. I don't think he had a great game, Lamar Jackson, but it was okay. Justin Herbert, Mike Williams goes down again. Mike Williams gets hurt all the time. Not Jags, that Chargers Dolphins game, man. I'm not high on the Dolphins because of Tua's injury history, but when Tua's healthy, man, he could sling it, especially with Tyreek Hill playing the way he did yesterday. Man, that was a thing. But the Chargers, I've said it before, the Chargers are not a great team. That Justin Herbert's a good quarterback that puts up a lot of stacks. He's a slightly better version of Kirk Cousins is all Justin Herbert is. $500 super chat time. That would be fantastic someday. Eagles 24 or 34-24 on Thursday. But we'll do a pregame show on Thursday. It might be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I hope that this Eagles 34 part comes to fruition because that means the offense got it going. And that's what we need. We need this offense to get going. We can't have another game like last night that just dry, drab, boring, ineffectiveness across the board. We play the Vikings at home opener. Coach Prime in Colorado is the real deal. Yeah, Coach Prime, is he going to make it to the NFL someday? 2-0 for them. And I don't even watch college football, and I know that. Vikes, yes, that's right. Bro, the Bolts suck on D. They do. But Justin Herbert also is Kirk Cousins. What I've always said Justin Herbert was just basically Phillip Rivers, great regular season quarterback. And then, everyone crushes me for that opinion. And then when he lost that playoff game when he was up 30 to what, against the Jaguars last year, just proved my point that he's not big time. Justin Herbert's not big time. Yeah, the Steelers got smoked yesterday. The Steelers did not look good. Coach Prime is going to be an NFL coach. Maybe Can you imagine that? Coach Prime time on the Cowboys sideline. That would be a total Jerry Jones thing to do too. Kenny Pickett season. Kenny Pickett did not look good yesterday. Jalen Carter is going to pancake Cousins. Probably. But see, the thing is, like, Kirk Cousins is as immobile as Mac Jones. We couldn't get the Mac Jones. Like, I still can't fathom. We had 2 sacks late in the game and nothing early in the game. Like, we were just one step behind. Now, I know Hassan Reddick last year didn't have his first sack till game 3. But, man, how we didn't get after Mac Jones. Vikes interior O-line is brutal. Is truly booty. But so is the Patriots. They were missing 3 starters, and we still couldn't get after Mac Jones. How about the arm talent that is Justin Fields? Justin Fields was terrible. I said that, man. I said it. I said it. I said it. What we got here? Generous Eric, as always. Which Eric being generous? Yeah. Mac Jones looked great, and that's those words right here from Man Chatter. Mac Jones looked great. Should never be in the same sentence. Mac Jones is not a really good quarterback. He looked great, but that is not who Mac Jones is. The same quarterback was it last year that the Patriots had to run a game where they threw the ball like 4 times and just ran the ball nonstop. That is who Mac Jones is. He's that bad. Yeah, Mac Jones looked like Tom Brady yesterday. God, I hope Deion Sanders doesn't coach the Cowboys. I don't want to hate that man. Yeah, I mean that's basically what happens when you coach the Cowboys, right? K1. Pat's O line was supposed to be booty, and it played great. Coach Prime would be, he shouldn't leave yet. He really is enjoying. Like I'm really surprised. I haven't followed him that much because I don't watch a lot of college football, but I know what Coach Prime's doing. It's Deion Sanders. Who doesn't know what Deion Sanders is doing? Like very rarely are elite players in sports great coaches. Like normally backup quarterbacks, backup catchers, bench players in the NBA, they make the good coaches because they see the game differently as backups. Starters don't do great. Stars never succeed as coaches. Yeah, primetime seems to got a knack for coaching. I guess when you're primetime and you go to speak to your team, you listen because it's primetime. Like it's really interesting. Yeah, you got to spell it right. Butte. Um, Mac Jones looked like Brady out there. That was like how I started the show. Like I don't understand how Mac Jones can look like Tom Brady against our defense, unless our defense isn't elite. I would want to know why the greatest assembly of quarterback rushing talent did not rock Mac. 70 sacks last year. You got 2 against Mac Jones and 3 backup offensive linemen. Not good enough. He's referring to struggle super chats. I speak it into existence. I appreciate that. Look, super chats are great. I'm gonna joke and goof around about the fact that somebody tipped Liam $101 on Friday, but I'm more concerned about the views and the likes. We got to beat him in the views and the likes. The morning show's got to outview the evening show. That's all that matters to me. The views, the super chats are great. It does go a long way to cover some of the costs of doing this, but the views are what matter. Prime Junior going to go in the first. That's possible. Evidence A points at Chip Kelly. Look, I watched college football a few times this weekend. I turned on the UCLA Bruins game. I don't even remember who they were playing on Saturday night. I wanted to see how Chippy Kelly was looking. And they were moving that ball fast as always. He hasn't changed one bit, Chip Kelly. Coach Prime is a very discipline oriented. Okay. Like I said, I watched a little bit of the game this weekend. I don't really know. I read the reports, I see the headlines, but this week was the first time I actually watched a few minutes of a Coach Prime game. So I still have to see more. Prime Junior is the new Michael Vick. That's very possible. I've heard a lot of people say that. Brings in 150 transfers, and everyone absolutely agree with this comment, Anthony. 1000%. He literally brought in a whole new football team. Week 1, they're all bragging because they beat TCU, who lost in the championship game, but TCU lost over half their starters in the draft. And yet Primetime brings in all these. So this is definitely. So he's a recruiter, Prime. And who doesn't want to go play for Prime? All eyes are on you. Yeah, Liam does call this the breakfast show versus the morning show. I don't know if he's picked up on it that I've never called it the breakfast show. It's the morning show. Yeah, Liam don't even have a core 12. He doesn't. I've got the core 12. Hashtag core 12. Always. For argument's sake, defense produced only 2 sacks, 1 pick six, and 1 forced fumble. That produced 6 points. We actually got more than that. So the 2 turnovers combined produced a touchdown and a field goal, I think. So, look, the defense. How do I want to say this? 'Cause I see what you're saying here, Marshawn. I know what you're getting at. Was there a little bit of bend, don't break maybe in the defense? Maybe we're overreacting to how the defense looked. Maybe? Maybe the defense is better than it looked. Maybe. I can't get behind it because Mac Jones should have been sacked 7 times. He should have had 2 picks, 3, the defense should have looked better. It really should have. I don't even know when Liam Stream comes on. He's doing 6:00 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He started it Friday last week, and he's going to be doing it every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Show him some love, but also make sure you represent the Core 12 if you're watching his show. Make sure you hashtag Core 12 all night long in his comments. Just blow him up. Some spider bit my back. It messed me up. I don't even know what that means. What if the Eagles blew out the Patriots in New England on Tom Brady Appreciation Day? Would have been a sad day for the end. The script, it was like this because of the script, right, mister? We only won by 4 or 5 or whatever it was because that's what the script said, right? Um, Athletes said their kid's going to Coach Prime. That's right. Absolutely. What does the not kill us make us stronger? Um, I mean, there is. I hope. I hope. And Phil Stiefel does a great. Is that what he said on the Breakfast Show? He always calls it the Breakfast Show. I love it. I haven't told him that's not correct. 2 turnovers produced 2 touchdowns, except Jake missed the extra point. That's right. That's right. Gotcha. Look, the defense. I get what you're getting at. Forced fumble, interception, 2 sacks. On paper, it sounds good, but it's not. Look. On paper, Jalen Hurts had an 89.2 quarterback rating. On paper, that's not bad, but we know that Jalen Hurts didn't have a good game. What Liam called us the breakfast show. Do we like McMuffins? Ah, hell no. We like coffee. That's what we like on this show, and lots of it for sure. For sure, we need lots of coffee every morning here. D line had pressure all game except nobody could cover. If you can't get home and your cornerbacks aren't covering, Mac Jones is going to throw the football. I mean, he's a professional quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. I bash Mac Jones all the time, sure. But he is an NFL quarterback with one of the best coaches of all time leading the way. Bill O'Brien, offense coordinator, back with the Patriots. Look, it is what it is. It wasn't good, you know. Um, a literal spider. Are you going to turn into Spider Man then? The Hurts fumble was part of the script, 1000%. I kind of believe it. Look, I said it after the Thursday night game. They were interviewing Roger Goodell on the Thursday night pregame broadcast, and Mike Tirico had the guts to ask him, "What's the script say?" And Goodell was prepared. He's like, "Oh, I got the script right here, but I can't show you." Like he was so prepared. I'm a McGriddle kind of guy. I'm a Wawa Sizzly. You get the croissant from Wawa. That would be my go-to sandwich, for sure. There, I walked into a web and like an hour later, it ripped into me. Man, you're gonna turn into Spider Man. I'd watch out. Mad Chatter's gonna be Spider Man someday. Why are people crapping on Desai for? I thought he was flashing potential. I don't know if Sean Desai uh, played well or coached well. I don't think so. The defense wasn't great yesterday. Yeah, Mad Chatter's protection broke down. Breakfast Club? No, I would never call it the Breakfast Club. I'm not worried about our D line. More worried about how our O line looked. Our O line did not look great yesterday. I don't know. Jalen Hurts was sacked 3 times. 2 of them were on rollouts that he just stepped out of bounds before the line of scrimmage. I don't know who gets credit. I don't know if Lane Johnson gave up one of those sacks or not. Um, I don't know. We just didn't look good. There's so many parts of this team that did not look good yesterday, guys. That's all I can say. Maddox looked lost early. He looked better later. Maddox, I thought was going to be one of my people I was crushing today because early he didn't look great, but he pulled it together and played well. No Wawas here in the sixth. Sorry. I mean, I honestly think Wawa is one of the most overrated things in the world. We love our Wawa. I love my Wawa. I still go all the time. But it's still actually, when you really think about it, extremely overrated. Um, TMC, can I be your sidekick? You can call me E Money Packs. I love it. I love it. Gonzalez held his own. Exactly. We talked about it. The Patriots have 2 great cornerbacks, and we talked about it on Friday. Christian Gonzalez, guy that a lot of Eagles fans wanted to be drafted here in Philly before we knew we were getting Slay and Bradbury back, and he played well. The Patriots secondary. I mean, I know AJ Brown and Devontae Smith both had 7 catches, but none of them were big catches. None of them were like wow moments. Um, it is what it is, you know? That blitz with Ellis when we got one of the sacks, that was a great call by his side. Gannon never would have called that. Okay. And Ellis also on a screenplay over the middle uh, gave up a huge play because he was so lost. He missed the tackle and blew by the tackle so bad. Ellis looked awful yesterday when he stepped in for N'Kobe Dean. Straight awful, in my opinion. I do not need Christian Ellis filling in for N'Kobe Dean. I go Wawa in Orlando, not in Buffalo. Okay, gotcha. Is Blankenship okay? I thought he played okay. He led the team in tackles, but because he got hurt. He did. He came off the field but went back on. I think he had the wind knocked out of him. If you watch the replay, he landed the opponent's foot that he tackled landed on his chest, So I think he just had the wind. You saw him like gasping for air. I think it was right back out there. So he probably just had the wind knocked out of him. Week 1 always is like a preseason game, but continue overreaction Monday. Look, we can overreact. What we do. We're Eagles fans. What good are we if we're not overreacting? Like that's what football is all about. Overreacting. Wawa got pizza now. I won't even try. I won't try their pizza. I won't try their pasta. I did try their burgers. They weren't that great. Um, Evan chat. Dobbins Dobbins ACL. We knew that. Uh, bingo. We're allowed to overreact, guys. I knew. You guys like to be so patient and stuff like that. Me, I gotta overreact. Look, and I think I've actually held my overreactions in check today, for the most part. We're coming down the final 10 minutes of the show here, and I feel like I've held my overreactions in check. I will say it. You know, players did not play well. The team did not play well. Ed Reed Blankenship showed he wasn't the issue he wasn't the issue. We gotta remember, like people make it out that he's Ed Reed Blankenship, but he's not. He played good. He did not play great. He was the best of a bad secondary crew yesterday. He was the best of a bunch of guys that got picked apart by Mac Jones. But as I keep saying over and over again on Twitter, on the post-game show I did for Edge of Philly yesterday and today, this team, offensively and defensively, roll with one person, Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts had his worst game since he lost to the Patriots or the Buccaneers in the playoffs in 2021. It was his worst game since then, without a shadow of a doubt. And him not playing well affects the offense completely. Him not playing well affects the play calling. Him not playing well affects the defense. Everybody gets their swagger from their leader, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts played C-minus football yesterday at best. Yeah, Dobbins is done for the year. It is the Achilles. Let's give Cowboys smelly sticker for beating Stinky Giants. Look, Cowboys, man. They won the Super Bowl, man. Didn't you hear? EC won. Cowboys are Super Bowl champions. The rest of the NFL should just pack it in. It's Cowboys hoisting their first trophy in 30 years. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? That's the way it is. Phil is playing a two-man shell overreaction so far. Look, I think I've been very conservative with my overreactions today. I really do. I think I've done a good job. I think there's room for improvement. There's a lot of things we can get into, but, Jalen Hurts has to be better. Plain and simple. Everybody feels bad for Dobbins. Why does everybody feel so bad for Dobbins? Like, I know he got hurt a lot, but come on. It's not like he is freaking Emmett Smith or anything like that. It's not like he's a legend. I hate getting the wind knocked out. I remember tackling someone and their butt bone knocked all the wind out of your boy. Pause. I was laid out like I had an asthma and no pump. Man, I've never had the wind knocked out of me, but it's got to hurt. It's got to be scary not being able to breathe. Like, I got my inhaler on me here, when I need it. 12 tackles and 2 pass breakups is really good for an undrafted. Like, again, he played good. But isn't it bad that your 2 safeties led your team in tackles? Like, that's bad. That's what happened. And he played good. He played good. I don't think he played fantastic. Dak had less than 150, but they're winning the Super Bowl. Daniel Jones never want to hear that. I don't even need to read the rest of this. I don't want to speak those words. But yeah, the fact that Daniel Jones is getting 40 mil, I think the Giants are already regretting that after 1 week. Talk about overreactions. Do you think the Giants, if there's a version of me in New York for the Giants, do you think they're overreacting today after 1 game, losing 40-0 to the Cowboys? Daniel Jones, seriously, 200. No, it was 160 million. He got 4 years, 160 million, I believe it was. Still way too much. It's like dying for 15 seconds. Wow, I don't even want to experience it. Playing prevent overreaction the whole stream. Trying to have fun here, guys. Aren't you guys gonna miss me the next 2 days? What are you guys gonna do in the morning when I'm not here for the next 2 days? Like, you guys are really going to miss me. You guys better not go find another podcast to go watch. That's all I'm saying. You bet when I'm back full time in a week, you better be back, guys. Let's see here. It doesn't hurt. It's scary. Okay, the wind getting knocked out of you. That's all right. Daniel Jones, not daddy Aaron Rodgers. Gonna look. I'm not. We got Monday Night Football, Bills, Jets. Do we think Aaron Rodgers outplays Josh Allen tonight? I don't know. We'll see. I'm really curious to see how the Bills look tonight because the Bills need to play well. Jets division game, but also the Dolphins looked really good yesterday offensively. So we'll see. Um, everybody will come around on Ed Reed Blankenship. Look, I'm not against Reed Blankenship. Like I just want people to realize like he played okay, nothing spectacular. If Fields gets quarter billion, Bears will always say, yeah, Justin Fields is going to get paid. Probably shouldn't. Watch Cards get a W. The Cards are going to win one game, maybe. Um, that was bad. If the Super Bowl were in September, Cowboys would have multiple champions. The last few years, absolutely. Um, it feel like I do not like pina coladas. I don't like pineapple anything. First drink tomorrow when I get to the resort, it could be a margarita because we are staying at a Margaritaville resort. It might be a Long Island. I'm a big Long Island iced tea fan on vacation. Might be a mojito, por favor. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, Wager 550 on Buffalo. I don't know about that. TMC should start a podcast. I don't know. Um, they will soon learn about Ed Reed Blankenship. Stop. Stop. You need a fill-in man while you're gone. Liam has said he might fill in. I thought about trying to catch some people to fill in, but I don't want anybody to, find a new favorite host, you know what I mean? Core 12 ain't no cheaters. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll see who's here next week. When you stop doing a show for a week, it kills the algorithm. So we'll see. Tequila sunrise. I've had a few tequila sunrises. Um, not my favorite. I'm not a huge tequila fan, but mixed with the right ingredients, I can get behind it. Um, Dak Prescott was trash, but they saying he was MVP. Yeah, exactly. Core 12 doesn't have a bench, Phil. We need you. Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys are giving me. Oh no, guys! I'm going down these comments. Here we go. Yeah, trash. We coming for you. Cowboys getting into the conversation here. Oh man, how to know that a Cowboys fan would jump in here at some point. You have to have a show with a Cowboys fan. You don't like pina coladas. I do not like pina coladas. I don't like pineapple at all. I think pineapple is awful. Liam can handle the breakfast show. Yeah. Well, he's got his afternoon shirt. Hurts a running back. Yeah, here we go. We got the guys. We got a Cowboys fan in the house. You're a Cowboys fan. Your opinion is warranted and a welcome, and you have to hit the like button. But we still don't like you. We'll be polite-ish, but we still don't like you. Uh, Side piece podcast. Do you have a side piece podcast? I swear, if you say Cowboys 5 times a Cowboys, yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. It's like Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. If you look in the mirror, he's gonna just pop up out of nowhere. America's team in 1995. Uh, Core 12 is in Liam's DMs. Head, big head. Yeah. Oh man. Let's see here. So many comments coming in now. Have some real Mexican food, literally. Oh, so when we go to Mexico for this, it's Mexicans Independence Day while we're there. Um, and they always do because we've stayed at a few resorts. They always do something big for Mexican Independence Day, and it's like real cooking, not resort cooking. They let some of their employees, do like home cooking, and it's amazing, amazing. Yeah, Cowboys fan can still hit the thumbs up button. Yes, they won 40-0, but um, congrats on the big Super Bowl win. I know exactly. Congrats on winning the Super Bowl week 1. Trey Lance will be the starter by week 5 for sure. I ain't liking well, then get out of the comments section. I'm gonna keep putting your comments up here because it's funny. But we are actually about out of time here. So, 90-minute show here today. Cowboy fan need to pay super chat. I know you should be the one putting the super chat out there for what we do here. Cowboys won Super Bowl. My great grandfather told me that. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, get Taco Bell in Mexico. I don't think so. I'm even liking his comments, even though they're terrible. Um, you begging for likes, you stink, you Super Bowl winner. I love it, guys. I love it. Um, this is hilarious. This is the first Cowboys fan we've had in the chat in a little while, guys. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna put every one of these comments. He's spamming. He's spamming the comments, but you know what? I love it. Jerry Jones's birthday. Calling yourself Cowboys for life is such a commitment to a bad marriage. I love it. But for life, that's right. I love it. Dak owns something, right? Yeah. Dak's really owned the Eagles in the regular season, but Dak hasn't won jack. And it's funny, guys, because you all know that I always talk positively about Dak on this show. That the core 12 know that I'm a Dak Prescott supporter. Yeah, is that a horse emoji? I don't even know. I can't see. Um, he like win. Yeah, exactly. Nine Niner troll is great. Yeah. Where's my brother trolling in the comments today after the 49ers win? Yesterday. Dak owns 2 playoff wins. Yes. 2. 2. Jalen Hurts won more than 2 games in the playoffs last year. Um, does he have a VCR to watch his last 2? He might. He might. He might have to get the VCR out. Um, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, we got to start the wrap up process here. I know the Giants fans are pissed off. That one YouTube Giants fan that gives epic rants? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, we're moving on from the the Cowboys comments because we got to wrap this show up here. You're a Dak owner and I have Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys defense on my PSN fantasy football team. I'm just going to say it, and hence why my team dominated in fantasy football last night. Dak doesn't even own his position in the depth chart. All right, we're done with the comments from the Cowboys guy. We're done with the comments from everybody here. Carson Wentz is still better than Dak. Maybe we're not done with the comments. Dak working on keeping his promise and not throwing picks. There you go. Well, if he doesn't throw the ball, then that's okay. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Trading the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network, guys. This is it for a couple days. Mexico is calling my name. 90 degrees, beach, water, pool, sun, food, drink, everything is calling my name. A chance to sleep past 7 a.m. is calling my name. Wentz got paid and has a ring for it. That's right. So we are going to wrap up Trending the AM right there, guys. I greatly appreciate everybody coming in today. It's been a lot. Man, almost 350 comments. Probably by the time we're done here, we'll probably hit that 350 comment. Just over 20 likes on YouTube, 7 on Facebook, guys. Thank you. Safe travels. We will. Thank you very much, Adam. We'll see you guys probably again. If you're not following me on Twitter at Beard of Knowledge, then just keep notifications turned on. At some point on Thursday, I will go live previewing that Thursday Vikings Eagles game. And again, probably Friday at some point recapping the game. But guys, everybody have a great day. Everybody enjoy it. The heat wave's over. The escaped murderers out of Kennett Square. Life is good. Thank you, Nick. I greatly appreciate you tuning in today. To everybody, we'll be back on Thursday. But guys, thank you very much. Go Birds and enjoy your day, guys. Go Birds!